Graveyard. The mysterious caller had told him to look for a specific tree said to be home to the spirit of a witch. And sure enough, among the healthy leafy trees, there stood one that was completely bare, taller, paler, and eerily distinct from the rest.
Welcome back everyone to another episode of Undeniable Fear. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our growing community on the platforms mentioned in the description. Your support keeps these chilling stories alive.
Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well. Today, I've brought you the chilling story of a ghost investigator. Someone who started out as a real estate businessman, but who carried a strange obsession, exploring abandoned places in search of evil presences. From childhood, he was fascinated by the paranormal, listening to ghost stories, meeting people who had experienced terrifying encounters, and eventually deciding to become a part-time ghost hunter. Growing up in Mississippi made things easier for him. There were plenty of abandoned places nearby, and he created a list to visit one by one. With a small team, equipped with cameras and devices, he finally began living his dream. But months passed with no results, no spirits, no signs of the supernatural. Frustrated, he decided to abandon the fantasy and return to his normal life. Then, one evening, while driving out of town for business, he began receiving persistent calls from an unknown number. At first, he ignored them, but the caller wouldn't stop. Finally, he pulled over and answered, ready to scold the stranger. But instead of a normal voice, a strange, piercing beep filled his ears. It blocked out every other sound, even on a busy highway. Then, a deep, unsettling voice told him not to leave town, but to visit a mysterious place if he wanted to witness something unusual. Before he could respond, the call ended. Shaken, he called his team and explained everything. At first, they insisted he continue his business trip, but he was determined. "If nothing happens tonight," he said, "I'll give this up forever." Reluctantly, they agreed. By 10 p.m., the group of 4 arrived at the location mentioned, a graveyard. The mysterious caller had told him to look for a specific tree said to be home to the spirit of a witch. And sure enough, among the healthy leafy trees, there stood one that was completely bare, taller, paler, and eerily distinct from the rest. They set up cameras, motion sensors, and other devices, hoping to capture something. For nearly 2 hours, nothing happened. The investigator grew restless, wondering if this had all been a cruel prank. At midnight, disappointed, the team decided to leave. But before going, he wanted one last look. Determined to capture some final photos, he walked alone toward the strange tree while the others stayed back. He raised his camera and snapped pictures from the roots up to the highest branches. Then, through the lens, he saw her. A woman with unnaturally long feet stood staring back at him. Heart pounding, he lowered the camera, but there was nothing there. Trembling, he lifted it again. This time, the woman appeared perched on a branch, 50 feet above the ground, baring impossibly long teeth in a twisted, mocking smile, as if to say, "Isn't this what you were waiting for?" Before he could react, the witch leapt from the tree. In an instant, she was on the ground. Panic surged through his body. But when he looked without the camera, she wasn't there. Instead, thick bushes surrounded him. Bushes that hadn't been there minutes before. His strength drained, his vision blurred, and he collapsed. When he finally awoke a few hours later, he was back at his office, surrounded by his team. They waited anxiously for him to speak, but he couldn't. It was as if someone had stolen his voice, or taken away his very ability to speak. Worried, his team wanted to rush him to the hospital, but he refused. Instead, he used hand signs to assure them that he was fine and wanted to stay. Eventually, he did regain his speech, and that is how the story reached us, sent by Jacob. He never revealed his connection to the man, but we thank him for sharing such a terrifying account.
Oh my gosh, this is truly terrifying. If you're enjoying our stories, why not become part of the family by sharing your own real experiences? Jenna will select the most terrifying story to narrate, and even better, the story that gets the most likes will win a special giveaway for its sender.